Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking all about my brows. I have been procrastinating this video for such a long time because I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. I'm not really a brow expert, okay? Brows are not my thing. I've just figured out what works for me. So trying to give you instructions on how to get the best brow for you, I'm not the one. I feel like there are other YouTubers that you can watch that have more expertise in that area than I do, but I do get a lot of people asking me for a tutorial on my brows. I have people make comments about my brows out, people at Starbucks and the grocery store, and I get a lot of compliments like, "Oh, I really like your brows," which to me is just so funny because I don't look at my brows and go, "Damn girl, you got some good brows." Like I don't know, I've just never really thought of my brows as anything special. Like the struggle has been real in my life, in my brow life. There has been an evolution, if you will. So, you know, when I was younger, I had like really super bushy brows, and then I started over plucking them, and then they went real skinny, and oh my god, the photos of like seeing me with the skinniest brows on planet Earth. Brows make a difference, you guys. So I do not get my brows professionally done. I did once and I just follow the map. So once my brows are done like this, that's when I would go in and like kind of clean up and pluck around what you've done. That way you don't over pluck. Because if you try to just pluck the stray hairs when your brows are not done, you could be plucking things that you shouldn't be. So I recommend, if you're going to do your own brows, to really just fill them in and shape them and do everything that you're going to do, and then go in and pull hairs out and trim them or whatever you're going to do. So that is really my disclaimer. Don't come for me that my brow technique sucks, because this is just what works for me, and I own the fact that I am not a brow professional by any stretch of the imagination. But I hope I can help you. I hope that this helps in some way. And without further ado, if you would like to see how I do my brows and learn some techniques, I guess, that I have developed along the way, I am going to talk about some products and whatnot. So if you guys want to learn all about that, then keep on watching. Okay, so I have no brows on, and I'm just going to go through the different types of brow products that you can use before I actually get into how I do mine and what products I use. So as I mentioned, everybody's brow situation is different. What is going to work for me may or may not work for you. This is my brow situation. This is me. Let me just comb them through so you can see, like, this is my hair. All my hair. I do have some little spots right like there where I need to let my hair kind of grow. But anyway, this is my brow hair, and I understand that not everybody has this much brow hair. I have hair, okay? So I just figured that I would show you guys kind of like the way that I do my brows, because so many people ask for this, and it's not that complicated. Different brow products that you can use. Obviously there are pencils, and there are different types of pencils. So you have your skinny type of pencils, and you have your fatter type of more definer pencils. These are the ones that are shaped more like a triangle. These actually will work well if you do have a fuller brow and you don't necessarily want a super defined brow. You just want to fill in some sparse areas and keep it moving. These types of pencils are great for that. These pencils are great for drawing more hair-like strokes and also defining the edges of your brow. Then you have brow powders. This one here is really great. It's from Makeup Forever. And you can I always do that. Use this no matter what your brow situation is. This is great for filling in sparse areas. You have a concealer here to clean up, and you have a waxy, like a setting wax that you can take your spoolie and rub it in and then set your brows. I like this because it has the different colors. You don't want to make them all one color because then they're flat. So you want to keep the darker shades towards the end and the lighter shades towards the front. And something like this is really great for that because you can use this shade here at the front and the middle and the back. This is not what you want to use to define your brow. This is great for filling in your brow. Then we have pomades, and this one is from Anastasia Beverly Hills. These are really good if you don't have a fuller brow like mine. Now, if I go and try to use one of these, I will look like I have two caterpillars on my face. This is too heavy for me. But you want to take like an angled brush, and I find if you use some beauty oil to sort of diffuse this a little bit, and you take a really sharp angled brush, you can use that and it will make hair-like strokes, and it's really great to kind of create a brow that doesn't exist already. And then we also have your brow setting gel, whatever kind of gel you want. You can do a clear or you can do a color. This one from Makeup Forever is a dark brown, as you can see. And then this one here from IT Cosmetics is a clear. I love this one because it's waterproof. I highly recommend doing a waterproof because then your brows are going to not go anywhere all day long, which I prefer. This one is a more affordable option. This one is from Pixi, and I really like this one as well. ABH makes one that's really great. And then finally you have your brow definer pencil. So these are good for shaping, like cleaning up the bottom of your brow and highlighting your brow bone. You can also use concealer for that step. This one here is from ABH, and it has two sides. It has a shimmery side and a matte side. So whether you want shimmer or matte, you can kind of clean up the brow and then highlight the brow bone if you want. So those are all the different brow products that you can use depending on your brow situation. It's taken me a long time to figure out what products work best for me. As I said, I am not a brow pro by any means. I have had every stage of brow you can imagine, from the skinniest brows on the planet to like the bushiest brows. I didn't pluck my brows or like shape my brows till way into college. So like my senior picture, I have almost a unibrow. My brows were so bushy. So embarrassing. Now I'm in a place where I'm fairly happy with my brow situation. I'm looking in the monitor because I feel like I have makeup in my hair. What else is new? So I feel like my current brow situation is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. I do my brows myself. I do not go and get them done. But I did go to an event in LA many years ago when, I don't know if you guys know Kelly Baker Brow, but she's a pretty established brow pro in LA. And I was at an event. She was pretty unknown at the time, and they had like a brow bar at the event, and I was able to sit there and she shaped my brows for me right then and there. And so ever since then, I've just sort of followed what she did, and that's pretty much it. I'm going to show you how to, like, the general rules of mapping your brow if you don't know what your shape should be. And then I'm going to get into how I fill in my brows. So the best way to do it is to take a pencil. I think this is the best way to do it. You want to take like a skinny pencil, like this one. This one is the NYX Micro Brow, but you can take any skinny pencil. And to find where the front of your brow should start, you want to basically put the pencil alongside your nose and run it right to your inner eye, and that is where your brow should begin. And then with the pencil, you can kind of just put a mark there, like so. And then you know where your brow should start. When you're trying to find your arch, you want to do the same thing with the pencil along your nose, but this time you want to run it right over your pupil. See, hold on. I'm looking in the monitor instead of the mirror like a moron. right there. So mine are like pretty on point. And then for the end of your brow, the tail of your brow, you want to run it from your nose along the outer edge of your eye and mark right there. So that is the map, if you will, of where you should have your brows start, arch, and stop. That's going to be the best shape for your face, going on your nose, your eyes, and the lines of your face. So for me, my favorite products to use are pencils. I tend to always come back to the skinny pencil. I do veer off course and use a definer every now and then. I was using this one for a while before I got this NYX one. I've talked on my channel about my favorite pencil, which is the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer. This pencil is $7.99 and it's just as good as ABH, who makes the best high-end one, in my opinion. But that one's like $23, $24, something like that, and this is $7.99, so I think this one's the best. But I did just get this NYX one in like a week ago, and I'm so obsessed with it. I'm loving it, and it's made me go back to the skinnier pencil. The process I go through to create my brow is the same no matter which pencil I use, believe it or not. For today, the purposes of today, I'm just going to use this pencil because I just think it's easier. So, here we go. So the first thing I do is brush my brow hairs up. So I always start with the tail of my brow, and I always start underneath. I like to define the edges of my brows. It's just my preference, but I don't like them super sharp Instagram brow. I am not an Instagram brow type of girl. I don't even think I could have an Instagram brow if I wanted one, okay? My hair, I just have too much hair. So the first thing I do is I just lightly line the edge of the lower brow. Now, with your brows, it's all about how much pressure you're pushing the pencil into your skin with. You always, as a general rule, want to do light pressure with your brows because if you go too dark, it's going to look too heavy and too harsh. That said, you can use heavier pressure from the arch down, but when you start to go from the front to the arch, you want to be as light as possible because this is the area that's going to make you look so resting bitch face, so angry if you go too heavy-handed. After I go along the bottom, I then go from where my arch is supposed to start, right there, and because I have this little like bald spot, I'm just going to connect that down like that. And a lot of times I do the same thing with my brows that I do with my liner, is like I'll go there and then I'll jump to the other side and I'll just do the same thing just to make sure that things look even. I do the same thing with my winged liner. I draw the line on both sides to see if they're even before I start connecting them. I just think that that's the easiest way to try to make things look as balanced as possible. Alright, so next I start in the front and I do the same exact thing. Light pressure. And I'm just gonna draw a line and connect it. Just light little strokes. Just like that. And then I'm gonna go up to the top and connect the arch. And then light strokes along the top. Now some people don't like to touch the top. I do. I like everything to look match. Does that make sense? I like both sides to match as close as humanly possible, and I find this is the best way to make that happen. So jumping back to the other side, because I didn't do that. Do you guys want to see both sides? I'll just do both sides. Already, I think I put a little too much pressure right here. But if that happens, it's easy to just wipe it away, or you're going to go in with your spoolie and brush everything out, and that's going to really soften it. So I'm just going to keep it moving, and I'm going to connect this arch like so. So they're starting to look pretty good. And now I'm going to just do the same thing on the top of this one, light little strokes. And when I'm not talking through this really, it's very fast. It takes me not really any time at all. So now that I have the map of my brows, this is how my brows are gonna look. I will go in with my spoolie and just soften up all those lines by just brushing through. Because you don't want anything to look harsh or drawn on. So see how like it just kind of made this part open back up again? We're gonna fix that. Because we're going to go in and fill in next. But this is just basically what we were just doing is the shape. So now for the fill in. So with this little pencil, you want to just lightly flick your hand, like super light, like just like that, to draw like little hairs. That's what you're basically trying to mimic. And again, you can go heavier pressure on the tail, but when you start getting up here, you want to barely touch. So I'm going to just start with this part right here because that's where I have the bald spot. And as I go, I will spoolie it through. That's like my worst area, like my problem area right there. So that's why I like to do it first. I don't have a whole lot of sparseness in the front, so I'm just going to hit the ones I can see. It's right here. There's no need for me to put product where there's no sparse areas. And then when I get to the front, I'll just kind of lightly flick so lightly, and then again spoolie it all through. Okay, so that's that one, and then the same thing on this side. I'm going to start right here. Alright, so I think that looks pretty good. Now, a lot of people would go in and carve out the brow with something like the pencil that I showed you or with concealer. Personally, I am not a brow carver outer, okay? Every time I do it, I'm like, that didn't do anything. It doesn't look like anything on me. It doesn't make it look sharper. It doesn't make it look better. I see other girls do it, and I'm like, see that, like, that's it made a difference on her brow, but on my brow, it doesn't make a difference. If you need to carve out a brow, I honestly, like, this doesn't even really work for me personally. I would prefer to go with a concealer brush and a little bit of concealer, like a thin consistency concealer, nothing too thick, and just carve it out if you want. It's just not for me. So now the final step for me is to set the brow. This is the IT Cosmetics Brow Power Pomade, and I like it again because it is waterproof. And it has this like teeny tiny little spoolie brush, which I like. And then I just brush them through. It's just gonna lock everything into place. I think they look good. I'm satisfied with this. Actually, I think I'm having a pretty decent brow day, if I do say so myself. Thank God, because if I did this video and I was having a bad brow day, that would suck. Okay, I just threw a little lip on, and that is it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know this was super simple, but like I said, brows are not my specialty, but you guys have been asking me to do a brow tutorial, so I wanted to just give you what you asked for. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I helped you out. And if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And follow me on social. I'm on Snapchat. I'm not really on Snapchat. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. My handle is @GlamLatte. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.